Okay, guys, I don't know who needs to hear this, but your like whole, oh, I'm so humble, blah, blah, blah. This is not getting you anywhere. Okay. I want you guys to achieve things. I want you to get what you want in life. And you need to start hyping yourself up more because it is not other people's job to do that. And we can never completely believe other people. Like, if someone gives you a compliment, it's probably not going to be enough to like change your whole identity. If they're like, "Oh my god, your makeup looks so pretty." It's not going to be enough to make you go from thinking, "Oh, I'm bad at makeup" to, "Oh my god, like I'm the best." That doesn't make any sense. And if your identity changes that much based on a compliment, that's also not a good thing because you are the one who's defining who you are. But I'm talking about this because this was taught to me when I was younger that you should always be so humble about yourself and your abilities. And I don't think there's a problem with being humble, especially when you're talking to people. But you do not need to humble yourself in your own mind. You need to be delusional up here, or at least very confident and very hopeful about what can happen. You can be honest with where you are in your life right now, but you need to be telling yourself really positive stuff like, "Oh, I'm the most charismatic person here. I'm the most attractive person. I'm the most smart. I'm the most successful. Like I'm the most rich." Whatever. You need to be telling yourself stuff like this if you want to get there, okay? Because you are not going to have the audacity to act so far out of character for what you believe about yourself if you're not telling yourself these things. So, for example, when I was in high school, I would have this habit of humbling myself in my mind, which was just actually being mean to myself and like telling myself horrible, like unnecessarily harsh self-criticism like, "Oh, I'm the worst," or I'm not good at anything. And at the time I was like, "Oh, well, this is me being a good person because I'm not like over exaggerating anything and I'm just being realistic." Well, guess what? Being realistic is not going to help you in this situation. Like, you need to be a little bit more brave with what you're willing to do. And guess what? Because I was always talking to myself like that in high school, I was super shy. I was unwilling to go up to people and I was super scared of like taking up any kind of like spotlight for anything. And that caused me to actually not try as hard and ultimately not get where I wanted to go with my goals because I was too scared and I like almost didn't even want to be successful because I was so scared of it and I wasn't this type of person that was comfortable taking up space. And ever since I started to tell myself things like this, it makes me realize that taking up space is fine. It's great. It's a good thing. And other people do this. And that's why they're ahead of you. Like, seriously, if you just have the audacity to believe in yourself and to hype yourself up and say shit that is delusional, I don't get why it's like we're so conditioned to be embarrassed about hyping ourselves up. And it's like, no, you should be putting yourself down. Other people will put you down, okay? You don't need to put yourself down too. That doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. You need to be your number one ally in this life so that it doesn't matter if other people put you down. Because also, back when I had this worse self concept when I was in high school, if someone said something mean to me, I would be thinking about that for months and months. I would not get over anything. I would not be able to recover. But now it's like I don't care because I'm already filling up my cup in my heart of validation, validating myself. And so I don't need other people to also validate myself. And it makes you more resilient because you're like, I don't need someone else to tell me that I'm a winner or that I'm going to be successful or that I'm likable. They can tell me something horrible and I don't care because I validate myself every single day. And eventually you're going to reach people on your okay taking up space that you never would have been able to talk to before. And you're going to be able to make these connections, even to accomplish things. Like, you're going to be able to get better at skills, everything, when you start hyping yourself up like this. We can all suffer from imposter syndrome in life, where we think, oh, maybe I don't deserve this. I'm not as good as someone else. Yeah, that's true. But guess what? No matter what you're doing, there will always be people who are more successful than you and not as good as you. This really motivated me with drawing because I saw a lot of creators, and eventually I got to a point where I was like, okay, my skills are definitely at a point where sometimes I see people that maybe haven't been drawing as long. And that used to make me so mad. I would be so mad because I was like, that's not fair. Like, why are they getting all these subscribers? Because um, it is fair because they're willing to take up space. And I was not willing to hype myself up to take up that space when I would see these people. And people will be resentful, like I was. They will start to act kind of weird around you if you start hyping yourself up and not just giving into this like constant self-deprecation. It's going to be fine. You're going to be able to take it now because you're validating yourself and you're seeing. They can't see your future. They can only see through their lens of how the world works, which might be really cynical and warped because they're just in a very reactive state and they don't think that life can get better. But you're like, I don't see that. I don't see that. I'm not claiming that. I know that my future is going to be wonderful and amazing, and I'm going to get what I want because I'm locked in on this. You know, I'm mentally locked in and I see it and I see the steps that I'm going to take to get there. Other people don't have to understand. And so you're just going to be a stronger person the more you do this, the more that you are delusional, and everything is going to start working out. And you're going to be like, oh my God, that's crazy. Like, all I had to really do, the core of it, is talk to myself differently. And then that will lead you to act differently, and that will lead other people to see you differently. Like, it is such a, ripple effect that this can have in your life. There are people who are not as smart as you, not as good looking as you, not as skilled as you in your field that are successful, okay? And that shouldn't make you mad. That should make you excited because you're like, oh my God, if they can do it, I can do it too. I can do it better. That should motivate you. And it comes down to this lack mindset where you see someone who is successful and you're like, I could definitely do that. And you don't because you're like, oh, well, the pie is only so big. There's already all the pieces have been delivered. I don't know if I can get a piece of the pie. But you can. The pie is forever. There is a infinite supply of abundance in the world. You do not need to think about this with your money. You don't need to think, oh, there's a limit that I can make. Don't put limits on yourself. Hype yourself up like crazy because it is only going to do good things for you. It is going to make you more resilient, and ultimately that is going to be the character trait that you need to get to your goals. It's just like that quote, shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. I think that quote is so cheesy, but it's true. If you are hyping yourself up all the time, you're like, I'm so awesome, I'm so great, all of these things, you are going to set your goals higher. And when you set higher goals for yourself, you create higher expectations for yourself. That is proving that you believe in yourself. And when you start working towards them, you're teaching yourself, I am this kind of person. I'm capable of achieving this. Like, I'm that person. I am that person. I am not this old person who was having this very depressing life and never believed in themselves. No. I'm this new person and I'm going to get what I want. And then you will, because you have actually put your mind on something that is what you really want. And even if you don't instantly start blowing up or, instantly there's millions of dollars in your bank account, keep telling yourself that, okay? Because you'll get there. You'll get there. Give it a minute, but you will get there. So yeah, don't be your own enemy. Don't ever do that. Always be your number one fan. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.